I recently purchased 3 pairs of Paradigm speakers. This is one pair here. These are 9SE speakers, model number. And I got another pair right in here that I've started to work on. There they are. Got a driver pulled out here with, loose surround. So that's another pair of 9 SEs. And I got some 11 SEs, which are right in here. They didn't need any work, so I just installed them in the living room and I've been using them. They sound great. So I'll get those 9s repaired and working, and I'll have 3 sets. Alright, I think I'll take a look at one of these speakers. This is, I got 2 pairs of these. This is the Paradigm Model 9 SE. They are, looks like they have a 4 ohm input impedance. They recommend about a 10 to 150 watt amplifier. I think these guys were made in the 90s. It's got 2 bass reflex ports out the back. And you can actually see inside there the speaker, the back of one of the drivers, bass drivers. So let me flip this guy over. Hang on a second, So, the problem that I'm seeing with these, of course the nice soft tone tweeter looks like it's in decent shape, but the drivers, and it seems to be the same on all these 9s, it's got a nice butyl rubber surround, but it has released from this plastic cone here. And even the, I'll show you the dust caps, even the glue has let them come loose. That's probably why I lost that one before I even bought these. But that seems to be the issue, so I have to figure out. I don't think I need to replace those surrounds because they're in good shape still. Just need to figure out a way to reattach them. So I may call the guys at Simply Speakers and ask them what they would use to, clean this glue off and then re-glue them back down, and what type of glue. If their normal speaker adhesive will work, or if there's something else special. Meantime, I'll pull one of those out and take a look at it. Probably this one right here. I got one of these drivers pulled out. It has the loose surround, and it looks like these guys were custom made for Paradigm, or Paradigm made them themselves. But this is for the Model 9 SE, which that's what the model cabinet is. And it looks like the date code says the 14th week of 1990, which that seems to match up to what I see down in here. You see there's a date code there. I don't know if you can read it on the video. Let's see if I can zoom in and get it to focus. It looks like it says May 10th, 1990. So that seems to be when these guys were made. And the cabinets, they have a nice amount of fiberglass stuffing in there. So the cabinets are well stuffed. And they are particle board. We preferred MDF, but maybe they weren't using MDF back in the early 90s yet. So it appears these baskets are aluminum. That's what I'm guessing. Either plastic or aluminum, but it sounds more like aluminum to me, and I think that's probably what it is. So it saves a little weight. So here's where we are. Try to figure out how to reattach those surrounds and get these things playing again. I'm working on these Paradigm Model 9 SE speakers. These are from 1990, so almost 30 years old. And the problem they have, even though they have very nice polycone drivers with a butyl rubber surround, you can see the butyl rubber surround has released from the cone. And it's still got some really sticky glue that's kind of holding it together, but not really. So, and then also the dust caps of that glue is dried up and they're popping off too. So I've already fixed one of these. Now I contacted the people at Simply Speakers and asked them what their suggestions would be. And they said to go ahead and use their fast setting clear speaker adhesive, which I had some already here, and just clean up the old glue with either acetone or what was it, lacquer thinner, and then re-glue them, which I've done on this one, and it seems to be holding together real good. And I glued the dust cap back on, and that one's ready to go, mounted back in its cabinet. I've removed that one right there. And that's the one that's on the bench, and that's the one that I'll show the process of removing this glue and re-gluing the surround to the cone while centering the voice coil. I just shimmed it since these things are falling off anyway. I just put some shims in there and shimmed it up, and waited until the glue set, and then pulled the shims. So that's what I'll show next, and I will continue doing that for this one and that one, and I've got another pair in the other side of the garage. Alright, here is the process of cleaning up these drivers. I use a little bit of lacquer thinner here. Just put it on a paper towel. And go in here, lift up the, we'll take this out, get that out of the way, and just rub in here. You can see there's the big glue glob right there. This just softens up the glue. So you kind of scrape with your fingernail once you get it a little loose. And eventually, see, it kind of comes clean. See, just a little bit of rubbing right there. That part's done. Where it's not thick, it just cleans up pretty easily. And we have, like right here, where it's a little thicker, and you have to rub a little longer. Get some fresh lacquer thinner. And keep going. And it looks like this lacquer thinner does not attack the poly cones at all. Seems to leave them alone, just softens that glue and gets rid of it. Same thing with the, I do the same thing here with the, let's just do it this way. It's a little harder to see what you're doing here on the rubber surround, but you kind of can look up here and get that softened up. You do that mostly by feel. Just kind of feel the stickiness of the glue surface and see if it's still there. See, it kind of turns out a little black. So I would say probably the rubber surround is a little harder to clean the glue off of than the cones. But this stuff eventually softens it up and gets it off, but you can re-glue it with new glue. So that's the process. I'll go ahead and finish up this one, and then we'll come back when I'm done. So the glue on these rubber surrounds is harder to remove. So what I found I've had to do is just wet it with the acetone or the lacquer thinner, and then physically scrape at it to kind of get it to come off. This stuff just kind of gets a little softer, just so that you can, get in there with your fingers and just peel it off. It seems to be working. Got the cone completely done here. And then almost got the rubber surround done too. This glue that holds the dust cap on is a different type of glue, so it's kind of crusty instead of sticky. So I'm just taking my razor knife and just scraping at that a little bit. I don't have to get it all off. Because when I put this back on, it's going to cover it up. But.
Hey, sweetie.
Mm-hmm. Alright, this is ready to go ahead and glue the surround in. Now the cone is just loose in there, it's not being held by the surround, so it's rattling. But you know, if you kind of grab onto the surround, you can see that you can get it to go up and down without rattling. But what I'm going to do is shim the voice coil. Since this is already out, I'm just going to pop in. And these are just kind of a card stock here. Inexpensive, doesn't really matter what you use as long as it's kind of equally thick in all directions. And that right there will center the voice coil. So there we go. Get this one off the side a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put some bead of glue down here on the cone, and then push the surround down into the glue, and then pull up the cone until the glue sets. And this is the speaker adhesive from Simply Speakers, the MI3035. Works pretty well for most applications on speakers. So I'm just going to put about a 1/8 inch bead of glue down all the way around the edge of this cone. May be kind of hard to see because the glue is clear and so is the cone. Just go all the way around. There we go, that's where we started. Cap the glue. Just kind of tap this around just so it's into the adhesive, and then I'm going to lift the cone up a little bit so that it meets the surround. Then I'm just going to wipe up some of this excess here. It's squeezing out. And just keep going around pressing it in. A little bit of stickiness on my fingers, so what I'm going to do is just put a little alcohol in here. That cleans it up. Just keep coming back and checking on this. Takes just a couple of minutes for the glue to start setting up. And what we'll do after, at that point, is I'll try to go clean up some of this that's oozed out a little bit here. Okay, let's pause the camera for just a minute or two. All right, that was just about a 1 minute pause. We got some new paper towels here. So I can start cleaning up this excess glue. It's still setting up. Try a little bit of lacquer thinner on that, see if that'll clean that up a little bit better. Alcohol works, but lacquer thinner is just a little stronger. A little bit better at cleaning up the too much glue to squeeze out here. And this is really just for looks. There we go. Make sure these shims are still working correctly. Yeah. And the shims give you just enough kind of friction so that you can pull the cone up from underneath and have it meet the surround so that it sets properly. Well, looks like that's setting up good. Go ahead and let this cure for maybe half an hour, and then pull the shims out and give it a test. Alright, it's been about half an hour, 45 minutes or so. It's time to pull the shims out. And it's perfectly centered. No rubbing of the voice coil. And glue is still drying here, but it's well stuck to the cone. So I can go ahead and stick the dust cap back in. And we just make a little handle here out of tape, just to help place it down. And we use the same glue to glue this in. And just put a bead all the way around. Oops, got too much there. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we'll just pop this right in the right place, right where it was before. There we go. And get a little weight here. Hold that down. About good size socket maybe. No, maybe too much weight. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, we'll let that cure for about half an hour, and then this should be ready to mount back in the cabinet. Alright, this driver is ready to go. It's a little messy here. Yeah, just got a little bit extra glue on the outside. Let me make sure I used enough to have that stick down really well. Sound is more important than looks, I guess. Maybe the next one I do, I'll use a little less glue so that not so much squeezes out. Kind of what I did with this one. It's not. That's the first one I did, and that was used a little less glue. So maybe that's the ticket. But I'll go ahead and hook this back up, and these are marked plus and minus on the back. So plus goes there, minus goes there. And they've actually got paradigm written at the bottom, right there. So that's how it goes. Get these screw holes lined up. There we go. Now go ahead and screw it down, and this one will be ready to test out. See how it sounds. So that's our next step. Well, success. Looks like those guys are working. Both drivers are acting well, sounding great, and I guess I have a couple more of these speakers to work on, but we'll get them all restored just like this one and find a use for them.